What's up, duelists? Today, I'm going to be doing a bit of a story time video. If you guys like this type of thing, go ahead and click like, subscribe, leave a comment, let me know, feedback, all this other type of stuff. I know the ring light is too bright. I know you don't got to tell me that kind of stuff, but if you like this kind of thing, go ahead and let me know why in the comments below. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, then you may not know that the last few days I was at Alex Cimo's wedding. If you don't know who Alex Cimo is, then how do you not know who he is and you're watching this channel right now? Like, that's the real question. Is how do you... That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. He is one of the biggest creators on YouTube, not just in Yu-Gi-Oh, but in general. And he, graciously invited me and a bunch of other creators to his wedding. But that's not where our story starts. Our story starts about 3 weeks ago when RJ the Jank Monarch sends me a DM and is like, yo, Keegan, Edison Cube? And I'm like, RJ, Edison Cube? And RJ's like, Keegan, Edison Cube? And I'm like, RJ, let's fucking do this. But at this time, I don't know that RJ's even going to the wedding too. I don't even know what the wedding is going to be like. All I know is that Alex and I are childhood friends. I've been invited to his wedding, and we're probably going to have there's probably going to be some sort of wedding ceremony. I don't really know what's going on. So we start working on this cube. I'm assuming it's like for some type of video or something, and it's getting really detailed. I mean, there's a reason RJ has invented some of the most prolific alternate formats for Yu-Gi-Oh on YouTube in general. Between Wave Motion and the other ones that they've created, it's just the organizational skills are amazing. Like the way they use Excel to it's we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty of it, but the cube, it looks beautiful. The process behind it was very beautiful. A lot of time went into this Edison cube, making sure that every card that was entered, either from outside of Edison format that we wanted to bring in to balance the cube, or from Edison format that we elected to leave out because it wouldn't be a fun card for a drafting environment or whatnot. These types of things we took heavily into consideration when creating this list. Okay, flash forward a few weeks. It's about maybe 2 weeks. I think it's 2 weeks before the wedding itself. It's 2 weeks before the actual wedding. And RJ's like, yo, Keegan, you going to Cimo's wedding? And I'm like, yo, RJ, are you going to Cimo's wedding? And RJ's like, yo, Keegan, Edison Cube at the wedding? And I'm like, yo, RJ, Edison Cube at the wedding. And it's at this moment I realize, oh, fuck. Obviously, he's invited a bunch of Yu-Gi tubers to the wedding because those are like his coworkers. Obviously, it's going to be like, a lot of these people that I've never met before, that I've maybe made videos with before or watched their content. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be hella fucking fun. This is going to be really, really sick. And not only that, but we're going to be able to play this Edison Cube that RJ and I have been working on in paper, in person with these people. And I'm just like, this is awesome. This is awesome. So immediately they've already started buying the cards. And I'm like, yo. Tell me what I need to get and I will help out. So they send me a list of cards and I'm like, okay, I can do this, right? It's a short list. It's like some cards that they weren't able to find at their local store. And I'm like, yeah, I've got a collection. I can just go grab them, grab the cards. So I'm checking off the list and I'm like, okay, I got that one. Maybe I don't got that one. Okay, but I'll get a few of these other ones. That one's not so important, We'll have a functional cube because there's, we're doing the tally of the heads, and it turns out there's going to be about 6 of us who are going to be down to draft this cube. So I'm thinking we don't need the full cube if there's only going to be 6 of us to draft it, but we'll just get the major plot points, and then we'll go from there. This comes up later. Me looking for cards and making sure I bring the cards. So this comes up later. Don't forget about this. So we'll come back to this. So getting closer to the wedding. It's about a week before the wedding, and we're now realizing that we're probably not going to get a chance to draft the cube the day of the actual wedding. So we're going to have to come in a day earlier, which everyone else had apparently already been planning on doing. I personally was planning on driving in the day of the wedding and then driving out the night after because my schedule right now is a nightmare during October. But now I'm just like, oh man, I'm just going to have to grind my ass off the week before and then maybe skip a couple uploads and just focus on the stuff I need to get done, and then go out to the wedding the night before, and I'll figure it out as I go along. Basically, I did not book a flight. I'll just have to drive out there. I did not book a hotel. I'm just like, whatever. This also comes up later. So keep this in mind. Now we have two things in mind. I had a responsibility to bring the cards, and I have now last minute plans where I need to be at the site of the wedding a day earlier than I had planned on being. Okay, doable stuff. Nothing too crazy. So things are moving along. It's now the day before the wedding, and I am ready to drive out. I finished my work. I'm maybe an hour or two later leaving than I would have liked, but we take those. That's not bad. At least as I am not the latest person. That's all I care about. As long as I'm not the last person to arrive, then that's all that matters. As long as not every single person is waiting on me, then we're good. We're good. So I'm heading out, and they had planned on meeting at a bar, and it's at this beautiful bar that overlooks the beach. There's like fireplaces, there's like everything, and it's just a stunning place. And I arrive, and it's been a long drive. I drove through 5 o'clock traffic. It was like 7 hour. And the second I get there, I am greeted with like some of the warmest greetings I've ever been greeted. I go see my family, and I don't get greetings this warm. Nim like hugs me and is like, I already bought you a drink before I'm even sitting down. I've never met the guy, and he's just exudes positive energy. One of the coolest people. At the table, when I first walk into the bar, there's RJ's girlfriend, Alex, and Ruxin34, as well as Nim. They've already been there for a little while, like an hour or so, and they've already started drinking. They've already had like a drink or two. But Nim, just one of the kindest people. Ruxin, one of the kindest people. I have never interacted with them before this, like briefly on Twitter here and there, but just super genuine people. And one of the things that really impressed me about them is that they were so on. Like every time there was an opportunity for a joke, there was never a dull moment. And I think that comes from like content creation. I think that comes from that. It's just that they pick up everything, and it's just like fast paced, banger after banger lines. Like just the conversation was just so intelligent, so like well spoken the whole time I was there. And this is just, I cannot say how appreciative I am of that kind of environment. I mean, I learned so much just from being around them in the first 5 minutes. It was great. So I've got my drink. We're sitting down, and I'm like, okay, Nim, next round's on me. So we're planning on having a few. It's a wedding, right? It's a celebration. We're gonna draft some cube. We're gonna talk Yu-Gi-Oh. We're gonna talk YouTube. We're gonna shoot the shit a little bit. Alex has to be up a little bit early, so we are working on a bit of a time crunch. But MBT has yet to arrive. Keep this in mind. MBT has yet to arrive. Okay, so we're doing stuff. I've handed RJ the box of the cards I brought for the cube, and they're going through the box of the cards, and they're like, yo, Keegan, did you bring the Kahoot? And I'm like, Kahoot? No, I don't. I don't remember anything about a Kahoot. And I'm like looking at the list on my phone, and I'm like, oh, fuck. I forgot to bring the Blackwing Kahoot. And I'm like, I just gotta lie. I'll just be like, yo, I couldn't find one. Which is total fucking cap. Let's be real. And I'm the Edison guy, and I don't have a Kahoot. Let's be real. I got like fucking 20, and I just forgot to bring the Kahoot. It's turning red, like trying not to blush. I'm like, oh, okay. Just be chill. Just play it off cool. You're around these guys for the first time. Just be like, oh, no. But Alex at this moment in time just like saves the day. He's like, yo, don't even worry about it. I got you guys something. Alex pulls into his bag, and he's like, I was going to wait for MBT for this, but you know what? I got you guys. He pulls out boxes from Korea. Sealed boxes from a set that has sentimental value to each one of us. And it's just one of the nicest things anyone's ever gifted me. And it was just out of appreciation for us coming to his wedding and just showing up for him. And he just went above and beyond with this. It was just an incredible gift. He gave Ruxin34 a box of Metal Raiders. He gifted me a box of Invasion of Chaos, which I'll touch on in a second. He gifted Nim the set with Shadows in it. I'm not exactly sure which set it was because the name was in Korean and I didn't play at that time. And then the crucial one is he gifted RJ Raging Battle, which, if you guys don't know, Blackwing Kalut, the Moon Shadow, is a rare in Korean Raging Battle. So we have a chance at finding this Kalut. I'm like, well, you guys want to crack some packs? And they're like, let's have a few drinks, and then maybe we'll crack some packs. Back to the Invasion of Chaos thing. I've told this story on stream, but I want to briefly recap it. Alex, Cimo, and I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Growing up together, and when we played together, it was right after Invasion of Chaos's release. When I was younger, I had gifted Alex, Cimo a Blackluster Soldier because I had a spare. And, you know, when you're kids, you don't care about shit. You just like, yo, I got a spare. Even though it was an expensive card at the time, even though it was whatever, and we were kids, and, you know, it's like lunch money here or there. It's just, you just want to be able to play with your boys. And really, that's a large part of what this weekend was about, was just playing the game with your boys. And, like, cards were changing hands here and there. Like, people were pulling cool cards. Like, speaking of which, we did end up cracking a couple of the boxes. One of the really cool cards from the box was this Trident Dragon. This is a Korean Trident Dragon. Let me see if I can get that to show up nicely on the camera. The glare is brutal, but there we go. That's pretty cool. Yeah, this was something that RJ and I exchanged. I had given him an English one for the Korean one, and it just looks beautiful. It looks so much better than the English one, just in terms of cardstock and whatnot. And there's one other card which I'll show you guys in a second that we'll get to. But we were just giving each other cards, and it was just a good vibe. It was like, it felt like we were characters in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, as like cringy as that sounds. It sounds like we were just friends, and we were all together, and we were just like, yo, this is something that means something to you. Why don't you have it? Like, and we're all at the point in our life where it doesn't matter, you know, like $50 card, $100 card. It doesn't matter as much as just like whatever. So this Invasion of Chaos booster box is a really sweet thing for Alex to get for me, because it's kind of like a full circle moment and whatnot. And it's also funny because for his wedding gift, I had gotten him a first edition Blackluster Soldier. So it's like, we ended up just getting each other the same. It's funny. It's laugh. You have to laugh right now. Okay, so we're like, okay, let's start cracking this box. You know, we're a few drinks in. We're like, let's crack this box. Let's get this Kalut. Let's get this cube going. Because Alex has to be up early for the wedding. He's got to be, you know, prepped. He's got to do all of this sort of like setup and everything. And, you know, he's got to be up at like 5 a.m. or some crazy shit. And it's already like 8 p.m. It's already like 8:30 p.m. And we're like, all right. Let's start cracking this box. And as soon as we start to crack the box, MBT shows up. And the whole energy of the room changes. And I mean this in the nicest way possible. MBT is like, you can tell he's a professional. Like, you can tell, like, the second he walks into a space, you're just like, oh shit, MBT is here. Like, the second he's in a room, the room changes. It's like being in the presence of, I would imagine, like, who's the actor that plays Saruman? Oh my gosh, this is disrespectful. I gotta look this up. Hold, everyone. I might not even cut this out because this is so embarrassing. I gotta leave this in. Saruman at Christopher Lee, of course, Sir Christopher Lee. That's how I would imagine it. Being around MBT in real life is what it would be like being around Sir Christopher Lee. Just like someone who is like very, very knows their shit. Like someone you're just like, oh shit, this guy knows his shit, and it's fucking obvious. Like, it just, the energy like changes the room around him. In any case, he's dripped out. Everyone there is dripped out. Nim Nim's wearing this Valkyrie merch. We're kind of joking a bit about Nim Nim, which is another thing I should mention before we move on, because this is going to come up later. You'll notice a trend. Nim Nim, I am so grateful that he was there, because he was the only other person there who was single. And I knew the second that he was there, I was just like, oh man, thank God. Because if I was the only single person here, I would be just like suffering the whole time. I would not only be getting hit with all the single jokes, I would be getting hit with the, yo, go talk to her at the wedding. I'd be getting hit with all the, you know, all that shit. And now thankfully, Nim Nim is here to take off all of the heat from me, and boy, did he take off all of the heat from me. One of the first things we were talking about is his Tinder profile, how he has pictures of Yu-Gi-Oh cards on it, and we're just like, bro, what are you doing? How do you expect to get matches, whatever, all this shit, and we're just like, you know, we're laying into him more than we probably should have, but thankfully it was not me, because I am equally single, and I am equally roastable for that very thing, so it was quite funny. In any case, where was I going with this? MBT, room changes, energy changes, and I'm just like, fuck it, we just got to drink more. We just got to drink more because like how else we got to bring him down to our level, man. We got to get this guy a little bit generated. And MBT takes his first L of the weekend. MBT takes a lot of L's this weekend. At least from my perspective, takes a lot of L's this weekend. The first L of the weekend was asking me for a drink recommendation because I had tried a couple of the drinks on the menu, and both of the drinks I had tried were fantastic. Everyone else at the table had ordered different drinks, and they were like, this is fantastic. And there was one other drink that I was kind of looking at when I was ordering my drink, and I was like, that sounds kind of good, it sounds kind of like my type of thing, and it was a little bit of a fruitier drink, so I opted more for the caffeinated drink. I had this drink called the Black Pearl, which was like an espresso and like dark rum, but MBT, asks me for a drink reference. I live in Vegas, I party a lot, so he's like, what should I get? What should I get? I'm like, oh, I was looking at this one, it seems pretty good, you want this one. And I say it with confidence because, I'm out here, I'm like fucking small creator, I'm like, I gotta come to the table with some fucking big ball shit. I gotta know my shit, because if I don't know this, then like whatever. So MBT orders the drink, right? And it's the worst fucking drink. It's so bad. It's like one of the worst drinks I've ever tasted in my life. And it's crazy too, because every drink we've gotten up until this point was just fantastic. But MBT just catches this yugioh. Not only did he order one for himself, but he ordered one for his wife, and they're just like, oh, this is good. This is disgusting. Like imagine like MBT like looking you in the face with like a look of pure disgust while like trying to drink an alcohol, and he's just like, I refuse. I'm like, fuck, okay, we just got to get more shots. Then. So we get some shots, we're drinking a bit, and we start cracking some packs. And at this point in the night, it's around 9-10 p.m., there are a bunch of people in the bar. And we start cracking some packs, and we're getting a little rowdy, We're YouTubers, right? And we got the energy of YouTubers. I'm like the most chill one at the table, maybe. I don't even know. They're just like pog champing. Every time someone opens a pack, they're like, what's it gonna be? We all got our cell phones out. We're like shooting fucking like shorts. We're like making fucking funny ass videos and shit. And the people in the bar are like starting to watch because it's a fucking entertaining thing to do. And at this point, Alex is like, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick. He steps off, and then we're just opening packs, and we're just like belligerent at this point. We're just like, we need this Kalut. And we're about a third of the way into the box. And I don't really know why or how at some point, but everyone else also started opening their box too. So it started to get really hectic and really confusing. I was the only one not opening my box because I'm a greedy little bitch and I wanted to open all the booster packs myself. But everyone else is cracking their packs at this point. They're all just like fucking tearing them open, fiending for the foils. And I'm like, we got to get this Kalut, we got to get this cube going. Alex has got to be up in like a couple of hours. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. So, it's fine. We're having a good time. We're pulling some really crazy stuff. I think I opened a booster pack with like a really fancy shed all like prismatic something. And everyone was just like losing their shit. The whole bar erupted. We're asking the bartender to crack a pack. Like it is just like the energy is like off the charts. And Alex comes back out of the bathroom, and he's like, yo, there were some people doing some shit in the bathroom. They were doing a little stuff in the bathroom. And I'm like, hopefully that doesn't come up. Because, the vibes of tonight are immaculate right now. I'm loving the people I'm around. I'm meeting them for the first time, but it feels like I've known these guys for years. And everything is just amazing. All the jokes have been landing. Everyone's been, outside of MBT's drink thus far. MBT's the drink was the first first MBT L of the weekend. Very rare. But, and that one's on me, obviously, and it gets worse. Don't worry, it gets worse. Don't worry. But yeah. So there's some people doing some stuff in the bathroom, and we're like, I've had to deal with some people who are doing drugs and aggressive in certain spaces, and it's not something I don't know how to deal with, but it's something that I would prefer not to deal with in a circumstance like this. So we're just like, okay, whatever, no big deal. And the people come out of the bathroom, and it's like, okay, it's, it's chill. They're handling their shit, And one of the people who was with that group is this older lady, and she starts like hitting on Nim, and we're just like, we're just clowning him, like, talking about his Tinder, like, oh, you were at the target age audience was way different, just way whatever. And I'm like, thank God Nim is getting this heat, because if he wasn't getting it, then oh boy, I would have been. Oh boy, because I've already gotten MBT a bad drink. I've already whatever, we're trying to open this Kalut, whatever. Okay. moving on. We're about halfway through the Raging Battle box and halfway through everyone else's box. And MBT's box is kind of like, it's whatever. But he does manage to pull this card, Archlord Christia, and he gifts it to me. It is a prismatic secret, and I gotta say a huge thank you to MBT for this. If you guys aren't already subbed to him, I mean, go sub to him right now. I'll sub to all these guys. There'll be a comment in the description below with all their channels and stuff. But he gifts me this Christia, which is just so sick, and this is going straight in my Paper Fairies deck. Like, I'm gonna be playing this card. I'm gonna play this card every day for that I play Edison, more or less. So very thankful for this. It's really, really cool. They're all cracking their boxes. We're all having a good time. We're having a good time, and there's still no Kalut. We're about halfway through the box, and we're like, oh, there's still no Kalut. This is getting kind of bad, and it was getting kind of late too, because we're ordering rounds, we're telling stories, we're just like we're opening different packs, we're shooting different videos, we're like telling different bits, like, and it's getting kind of late. At this point, it's about 10:15, 10:30, and we're getting towards the end of the Raging Battle box, and there are like 2 packs left, and MBT like just commandingly is like, I'm done with this shit. I'm ending this shit. I'm pulling the Kalut right now. He grabs the last 2 packs and he opens them, and it's just boom right there, the Kalut. And at this point, the whole bar just erupts. Everybody just erupts, and the guy who's doing the cocaine in the bathrooms, like, they come over and they're like, yo, did you pull some money? Did you pull something good? They're like talking to me. One of them gets right up in my ear, and I'm like, bro, you gotta step up. Like, this is fucking weird, man. This is fucking crazy. But they're just interested. They're not being too weird about it. And we're all just drinking and having a good time. So I'm not hating on somebody, but like, it was about to get a little bit weird. And then at this point, Alex is like, you know what, guys, I'm very sorry, but I've got to go to bed. I can't cube with you guys. I gotta call it a night. I gotta be up way too early. And I'm just like, fuck, dude. Fuck. We spent the last month preparing this cube for this moment. And I forgot the Kalut. And we started opening the packs, and it was super hype. And it was just like a really good moment. And he's not gonna be able to cube with us that night. And I'm just like, oh, this sucks. And I felt so bad. But you know what? Hey, you know what? He's got it. He's got his priorities, and it was a sick night up until that point. So you can't complain. Sometimes you don't get to do everything you want to do in a night, and that's life. That's adulting. That's whatever copium excuse you want to make up for it, right? So Alex heads off. He goes to bed, and we order some more drinks. One of the strangers at the bar, or he wasn't a stranger, but he was the guy who was there for the wedding as well, who I didn't know, ordered all of us like a couple rounds of drinks. So we've been drinking like a significant amount at this point, and I'm just like, yo, we need to cube, but we need to cube on the beach. And for some fucking reason, I thought this was a great idea. And even though we're overlooking the beach, we're like pretty far up. There's like a huge staircase that leads down into the beach. And I'm just like, we gotta go down there. We gotta cube down there. Like, that's the only thing we gotta make this happen. If you guys ever drank alcohol before, I'm not saying I condone this type of behavior, but if you guys ever drank alcohol and you've had an idea that is so fucking obviously shit, but for some reason you've been drinking, and so you're just like, okay, this idea, it's the only thing that like consumes your brain, and you're just like, I have to do it. I have to do this. And so I somehow managed to convince everyone else there that we need to go down to the beach and cube at the beach, and they're like, yeah, let's fucking do it. Let's fucking go. So we gather up everything, gather up all the pack garbage, like huge mountain of pack garbage. We're like shoving it behind the bar, hoping they don't get upset with us for like loading up their trash can or whatever. The bar's already closing because the area we're in, bars close pretty early compared to Vegas. And we have a few extra drinks left over, so we could always like keep the party going. But we get down to the beach, and I realized like almost immediately how fucking stupid this is. We trek all the way down this huge flight of stairs down to the beach, and it is dark as shit. You can't see anything. There's nowhere for us to fucking cube. There's like a playground, and there's the ocean, and I'm like, what? Ah, shit. Like, and it's at that moment, it's kind of like a full light switch. You're just like, I'm sorry, guys, I'm sorry. And MBT's like, fuck it, I'm going in the ocean. He just runs in. He's like, I'm in the ocean. He starts shooting this video, and it's just one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. I don't even know if he deleted it or not, but that shit was fire. If you guys saw those videos, then you know. And everyone at this point, other than me, because I'm a fucking night owl and I'm from Vegas and I'm used to this kind of shit, is like, I need to go to bed. And also, at this point, I realize I've been so caught up in the moment, I didn't get a hotel room. I did not plan to find a place to stay. And I'm like, fuck. This is on me. And this is maybe a testament to like the way I handle things and the way I'm really independent with things to a detriment. RJ and his girlfriend were so sweet. They were like, yo, just crash in our room. Don't even worry about it. Like, whatever. And I was like, no, don't worry about it, guys. I'll find a hotel room. I had planned on getting a hotel room myself anyway. And I don't want to be a burden to you guys. And I don't want things to be weird. I just met you guys. Like, this is, kind of that kind of thing. And so to be fair, to their credit, they did offer. But my dumb ass was like, no, it's fine. I'll be able to find a hotel, right? Because I live in Vegas, right? If I want to get a hotel room, like, it's the easiest shit in the world. I just go down fucking on the strip. I get a room in 13 minutes. Literally, like a speed run. I could speed run getting a hotel here any time of day, any day of the week. And it's never going to be booked up, right? That's never happened to me before. I drive to the first hotel. And this one's pretty close to where everybody's at. So I'm like, well, I'll be able to come back pretty early in the morning. And we'll be able to cube, whatever. At this point, it's about, because I had to wait to sober up a little bit in the lobby, and I walked around a bit to sober up before I started driving. It's about 2 a.m. at this point, which is no big deal, right? I'm up late usually. I'm a late night guy. I'm a Vegas guy, right? So I drive to this hotel, and I'm talking to the guy at the front desk, and I'm like, yo, I'd like to get a room, please. And he's like, we're booked up. Sorry, bro. And I'm like, all right, no worries. I'll just go to the next one. I'll just go to the next hotel. Are there any hotels around here? And he's like, yeah, man, I don't know about that. And my phone is like on its last legs, right? It's on about 15%. So I get a little bit of juice while I'm in the hotel lobby, and I'm like looking up other hotels. I'm like, okay, the nearest hotel that will be open at this time, because it's so late, is about 30 minutes away. And I'm like, okay, I'll go to that one. So I go to that one. Also booked. Completely full. And I'm like, fuck, am I really going to be sleeping in my car? Am I really not going to be able to shower on the day of the wedding? Am I really going to be like, is this really what's about to happen? I'm just like, oh my gosh. And at this point, everyone else is already asleep. I'm not going to inconvenience them by waking them up. I don't know, honestly, any of their phone numbers. At this point, I would not even be able to get in contact with anyone at this point. So I'm just like, no, I just got to keep trying. I got to find a place to stay. I got to find a place to crash, because I need to be able to get ready in the morning. I need to be able to look, decent for a wedding, like my friend's wedding. Oh my gosh. And at this point, I'm just feeling like so down on myself. I'm like, fuck, man. This is like my low point. It gets a little bit lower. So I drive another 30 minutes to the next hotel. And I get there, and it's open. And I go in, and I'm like, yo, can I book a room here? Like, do you guys have rooms available? And the guy's like, sorry, man, we're booked. And I'm like, fuck. Can I at least, plug in my phone a little bit and charge it? Can I at least like charge it? And he's like, man, all the outlets in the front half of the lobby just don't work. And I'm like, what? Like, that's so weird. Like, what are the chances of that? But it's at this moment where the guy, he starts to understand the situation I'm in. And I'm like, is there any way I could like plug it in back there or whatever? And he's like, yeah, all right. You can come back here, plug it in back here. And, I go back there and I plug it in, and I'm charging my phone, and I notice he's listening to music. I strike up a conversation with him at this point. I'm like, yo, I dig this music you're listening to. I'm a producer. And he's like, wait, you're a producer? Like, you mix and engineer like vocals? And I was like, yeah, I do that. And he was like, well, I'm a singer. And I was like, no way. And I was like, that's tight. And he's like, yeah, this song we're listening to is me. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, that's very sick. This is a tight song. Like, this is really good stuff. And then I started talking like technical stuff, so he knows like I know what I'm fucking talking about. And he's like, you trying to lay down a beat? And I'm like, well, I got a wedding in a few hours, but we could see what we could do. Like, we could, fuck it, why not? Fuck it, why not? All right, and I'm just like, I'm in this moment with a total stranger, and the circumstances are like insane. I've put myself, basically painted myself into a corner, and somehow I've drawn my one out. This is like the this is like the craziest circumstance I've ever been put in my entire life. And it just goes to show that like you should talk to people and like engage with people, because you never really know. You never really know. So we go to a studio as soon as he's off, and we lay down a beat in like the next 2 hours. And at this point I'm like exhausted. It's like 5 a.m. and I'm like, bro, I need to crash. I got this wedding coming up. And we laid down a beat, and it was sick, and he was like just having a great time. And I'm probably gonna work with this guy more in the future, which is crazy. I don't want to say who he is, because the next part might get him in trouble with his job, where they have reserved rooms at the hotel that he was not supposed to rent out, but he let me stay in one of them, which, oh my gosh, like just one of the nicest things. The whole weekend was just W's for me. I've never taken this many W's in my life. Better lucky than good, I've always said. But in this case, luck was definitely preparation meets opportunity. Just very, very fortunate circumstances on all of this stuff. Pretty much, between Nim Nim buying me a drink, fucking MBT giving me his Archlord Christia, and just like all of the stuff that's happened so far, not having to fight a drugged up guy in the bar, and making a song with a total stranger in a hotel lobby who's just like working, and then in the middle of the night, and then just gives me, it's just stuff you wouldn't even expect to happen. And it's just like, you can't make this shit up. It was so fucking nice. And so I hit the room, and I plug in my phone, and I immediately pass out in my clothes, and I'm just like, thank God. I wake up right on time. I get dressed. I dip out of the room before he said I needed to be out by a certain time. And so I dip out after I shower, and I get ready, and I'm just like, I'm feeling on top of the fucking world. I'm hungover. Don't get me wrong. I'm fucking hungover, and I'm a little bit tired, but I'm feeling on top of the world. I still have a couple of things I need to get. I still need to get a card for, Alex at this point. I still need to get a few other things, but I am ready to fucking cube. And so I go to meet all of the guys, all the YouTubers. I go to meet them at the lobby of the hotel they're staying at, which is just a much nicer hotel than the one I ended up staying at. But I can't complain, man. A bed and a shower. That's all you need, really. That's all you need in life. You got to be grateful for the things that you got. You got to be grateful for that kind of stuff. And it's in those moments of like ill preparation where I'm just like, damn. Maybe I should plan things out a little bit more. In any case, I get back to the hotel lobby, right? And they're already downstairs, everyone except for RJ, and they're all playing GOAT format. And I'm like, oh shit, let's play some GOAT. So we start grinding some GOAT games, and I'm the only one who's dressed and ready to go because I had to be out of my room. And they're like kind of taking their time waking up. They were all also very hungover, which is funny. And then RJ comes down, and let me tell you, I have never seen someone so dripped out in my entire life. RJ is wearing the most incredible suit. It's just like so fucking fly. They've got this red tie, black rose dragon, one of the nicest, dyed hairs. I'm sure if you've seen RJ's Twitter, if you've seen the fit, you've seen the drip, if you go on my Twitter, you'll see it. It was just like, I was just like, fuck, dude. RJ showed me up like crazy. I'm just like, you know what? I'm the first one dressed, but I'm not the best dressed, but that's okay. RJ's definitely stealing the show. I did, however, have these really cool boots, and this comes up later. I'm gonna show you these boots. They're custom boots. I did wear cowboy boots to a wedding because, hey man, you gotta rep the West, gotta rep the OG old Western style, I gotta rep it. But the boots come up later. Don't worry. Okay. So, we're dripped out. We're like feeling like we're the most fly people in the fucking universe right now. Me and RJ and the other guys, they're not quite dressed, but we're about a cube. We're like, let's just get this fucking cube going so we can get it done before we have to head out. It's about like a couple hours before we have to head out. And we start drafting. And this is like Christmas fucking morning for me. Let me tell you, because I love cube draft. It's my favorite format of anything ever. It is the most fun you can have playing a card game because every single time you cube draft, you will have a different deck. It's infinite depth. infinite depth. Deck building is so much fun in card games, and it's just like it attacks card building, or not card building, deck building, card game from every angle. That's what I'm trying. I'm losing my words. But I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited. We've been working on this for like months. We've been talking about it for months. I've been wanting to cube draft with people for months. I haven't cubed since honestly before COVID. So at this point, I'm just like kid on Christmas excited. And we're opening our first packs. You know, we shuffle it all up and we're opening our first packs. And my first pack is like, it's kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie. I pack one, pick one, bottomless trap hole, and I'm like, all right, I'll stay open. And I get past a pack, and the next pack I get past, I'm like, oh, this is pretty good. There's some pretty good cards in here, and I pack one, pick two, bottomless trap hole. Because I'm like, you know, I'll just stay open. I'll see how these guys are drafting. I'll see what these guys are about, and I'll figure out, you know, what's going on. And then pack three, I get past a card that has no business being in a pack, pick three, which is Tragodia, and I'm like, what? Like, wait, am I the only one here who's ever cube drafted before? Am I the only one here who knows how good some of these cards are? Because my pack 2 was pretty fucking stacked, and my pack 3 was equally stacked, and I was like, what are these guys picking? Like, how are you not picking Tragodia? Like, this is like, Tragodia, for those of you who don't cube draft, is insane in the limited environment because it's hard to kill, A, it's hard to prevent, B, it's defensive and offensive, and it has the Snatch Steal ability, which lets you clear not only your opponent's best monster, but take it for yourself, which is just, that ability in Cube is just disgusting. It's one of the most powerful effects you can have in Cube. Tragodia is like a pack one, pick one, like every single time because of its power level. And I'm just like, I need to see if these guys know what they're doing. So I'm going to pass this Trag. I'm going to pass it. I'm going to see if it comes back to me. I'm like, okay, you know what? I'll just take something simple. I'll take a Phoenix Wing Wind Blast. So I've got 3 trap cards. I'm like, all right. Pack 4 comes around. It's insane. I've got, you know, Blackwing Sirocco, which is one of the biggest monsters you can normal summon in the format. And then I've also got Blackwing Blizzard. And I'm like, okay, Blackwings seem pretty open. Pack 4, there's 5 of us drafting. Alex couldn't make it because he had to do wedding obligation stuff. Sadly, I do look forward to drafting with him in the future. I know he would absolutely kill it at this format. He definitely would not be passing Tragodia third pick or whatever. So I'm like, okay, I'll take Sirocco. I'll see if there's like a dark deck I can move into or a Blackwing deck I can move into. So the draft is moving along. My deck is picking up steam. It's starting to get really good. I get the Tragodia back pick 8, and I'm just like, dude. At this point, I can tell I'm going to have the best deck at the table because these guys have just never drafted Q before. And I'm just going to get all of these, like, insane bombs super late because they're maybe just, like, committing too early to Gladiator Beasts or a different strategy or Lightsworn or whatever. Or they're overvaluing certain archetypal cards when actually in Cube, what you should be doing is undervaluing the archetypal cards and then taking what's open later on. And then take the more powerful cards earlier on. So you're fighting more so over the powerful generic cards, and then the tough stuff actually comes if someone's also in your archetype later on. But you generally speaking want to have a good experience where everyone has a playable deck to a degree. But in this case, my deck was fucking crazy, and I'll put I'll put a link to the tweet for my deck. It was like 2 Allure, 2 Tragodia. I wheeled 2 Trags in the same draft, which is a fucked up thing. It's a fucked up thing to do to people that you just met. It really is just a fucked up thing to do. And MBT gets bad beats round 1. This is the third instance of MBT bad beats. I don't remember what the second one was, but I'm sure there was another MBT bad beats where I've already, you know, told MBT to order a drink that was dog shit. I've already taken MBT's Christia off of his hands, and then I get paired against him round 1, and let me tell you, it was not fucking close. Like, my deck just went off. There was a turn I had where I played Allure of Darkness. I drew into the Dark Creator and Premature Burial, and I had 5 darks in my grave, and one of those darks was Dark Magician of Chaos. So I was able to special summon the Dark Creator, pre-map back the Dark Magician of Chaos, add back the Allure I had just cast, and then OTK from there. I even had an extra overkill synergy where my Mist Valley Falcon bounced my Premature Burial just for for good measure. So yeah, there were some crazy turns that happened. There was another crazy turn that happened where he had a Gladiator Beast Laquari that was pumped up to 2100. I attacked it with a Mist Valley Falcon, bounced my own Mist Valley Falcon to put myself up to 4 cards in hand, then used my set Call of the Haunted, bring back Tragodia, attack over the Laquari, and then it was just a really cool synergy. There was a lot of cool synergies that went down in my deck because I just had a really, really good draft, and that's what happens when nobody else knows how to cube. I'm looking forward to actually cube drafting with people once they start to get accustomed to it, and they're like, oh, okay, I know what I'm doing here. And then that's when cube gets interesting, at least. Later on, when everyone's got a decent deck, that's when cube gets really, really cool. And then I play round 2 against RJ, and at this point, it's getting a little bit late. We're running a little bit late. And I'm deep in my game with RJ, and MBT's kind of chilling, and he's like, we're gonna run to the corner store. Do you guys need anything or whatever? And I'm like, yo, I haven't gotten a card for Alex. Can you grab me a card from the store? And this is I feel so bad, man. I just fucking like MBT just gets screwed the whole weekend in like not ways that are like big enough to be annoying, but like ways that are like it's just like they eventually add up, and I can tell like every single little time he's just like, oh, all right, I guess I'll just hold this. And after the game we played, he was just like, I should have never passed Falcon. I should have never passed Drag. He was just fucking, he was like, fuck you, Keegan. Like, and I was just like, yeah. So I've just gotten done like demoralizing MBT, and MBT, I'm like, yo, can you pick me up a card? What are they called? The salutations cards. What are the card? Not a greeting card, but one you get for a wedding, so you can write a nice note in it. And I'm like, can you pick one up for me? Because otherwise we'll have to stop. And at this point in time, I had been planning on driving RJ and his girlfriend and MBT and his wife to the wedding. So they go, and they're going a decent amount of time, and we finish up our game, and we're noticing, oh my goodness, it's getting kind of close to when we need to leave. We need to wrap things up here. So MBT gets back with the card, and the third way in which I am leeching off of MBT, I get the card, and I'm like, okay, no big deal. And MBT's like, no, we got to play one more game. So MBT and RJ play a game, and this was one of the craziest games. MBT makes this play that is like Galaxy Brain 9 head, where MBT is dead lost on board. Has 2 cards set. One of them's a Gladiator Beast Proving Ground, one of them's a Gladiator Beast War Chariot. RJ knows both of those cards. RJ has a Wolf in play, and a Treeborn, I think, and like a couple Dandy tokens or something like that. And MBT has 2 plays, basically. The first play is to use the Proving Ground, go get Bestiary, set up for the next turn being able to tag in Geyseris to stabilize, basically. Or attack the token now, go into Darius now, bring back the Laquari in defense position, wall up. It protects you against, nothing. But it does activate MBT's Starlight Road in the case that RJ goes for a sweeper before attacking for game. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, MBT's going to lose because MBT didn't go for the setup for the Bestiary for the Geyseris. And RJ, like, I don't know how MBT predicted his future, but RJ top decks Lightning Vortex and is like, I'm going to go for game. The Wolf is a lethal attacker, slams Lightning Vortex on the table, discards the last card in hand, and MBT just like, I've never seen a Starlight Road flip that fast, and the game just flipped completely. The second that Stardust hit play, getting a Stardust in play for free in Limited after countering a sweeper is so much more devastating than in Constructed, where you have like, dedicated outs to these types of things. You've built your deck in mind where, you can deal with a Stardust Dragon. In Limited, it's very difficult to deal with the Stardust Dragon, and it just takes over the game. And MBT is able to win the match. And it was a really, really incredible match. I wish I could replay it for you guys in reality, but it was just a beautiful moment where the Galaxy Brain reads paid off. And something that I would have fucked up ended up being a one game. And what's crazy is if MBT had gone for that Geyseris 2-turn setup, he would have lost to RJ's Lightning Vortex because he would have had one monster in play and not been able to Starlight Road it. So pretty crazy sequence. So RJ's ready, RJ's girlfriend's ready, and I'm like, okay. At this moment in time, Nim and Ruxin have gone up to get ready, and MBT and his wife need to go up and get ready. So I'm like, okay, we'll just wait for you down here. We'll just wait for you down here. And we're waiting, and it's getting close. It's getting close. And I'm like, we need to leave 5 minutes ago. Basically, we're going to be late. We're going to be late. And at this point, Ruxin and his wife have come down, and I'm like, have you guys ordered an Uber yet? And he was like, no. And I'm like, well, we got to go because I don't want to be late. And MBT and his wife are not down here, and I feel really bad, but I have no real way of like, but we got to go. Like, we got to be there or else we're going to be late. And so we get Ruxin and his wife in the car, RJ and his girlfriend in the car, and I get in the car, and we head to the wedding. And I totally ditch MBT. And in this rush, I forget to communicate with him that we leave. And this is like the 4th time I'm like just like fucking, and I feel so bad. And I'm like thinking about this stuff, and MBT probably just doesn't care at all. But like this is like one of those things where I'm just like, oh my god, I feel so bad about it. And I'm just like, oh, I totally ditched him. I totally fucking, like, I told him I was going to drive him, and like, you know, we had to go. Like, we were going to fucking miss the wedding. And thankfully, MBT and his wife engage, and they get an Uber to the venue. And even though we're all like a little bit late, thankfully we were not the latest people there. And like I said, the weekend, as long as you're not the last one there, that's all that matters. You could be second to last, but as long as you're not the last one there, that's all that matters. And the wedding is just immaculate. It's so beautiful. It's just a fantastic time. The speeches were incredible, and there were a few moments where I was like, damn, this is sick. This is really, really cool. It made me want to have like a wedding myself one day. It's something I never really thought about or processed too much, like what I would actually want to do for a wedding. And this being at this place was like, damn, this was sick. This was really, really sick. And you know, we're clowning on Gage a little bit for being single, trying to get him to go talk to someone. You know, this is just like, okay. And he's like talking to one of the waitresses and whatnot. It's a fun time. It's a fun time. And it rolls around the time where we need to dance. And at this moment in time, you know, the songs start playing, and within a minute of the first song, Gage is on the dance floor. And let me tell you guys, I have no fucking clue how this guy is single. Like, he has some fucking moves. He danced better than some professional dancers that I've seen personally. Like, he laid it down. Gage is one of the smoothest dancers. Nim, one of the smoothest dancers I've ever seen. That was something else. That was like, you had to be there kind of moment. But I'm taking notes. I'm like, yo, put that in your fucking Tinder profile. That was really cool. If you're watching this, moves like Jagger, I think, is the phrase that they use. The kids these days, pushers up glasses. Ah, yes. Strokes beard, yes. Ah, yes. The kids these days. I was the oldest person there. It's also the most fucking single person there, which is, you know, just awesome. But you know what? Hey, you know, it was a great time. Shout out to Alex and his wife for having me out. And it was just an incredible time meeting all the other YouTubers. There's definitely going to be some content in the next few days involving this cube, because by God, it was a blast. It was so much fun. I'm definitely going to be doing some stuff with RJ regarding that. Is there anything else I wanted to cover? I think there was one or two other things. I had so many W's. There was another W where, like, when we got to the wedding, we were gifted these rocks, right? And these rocks that had our name on it, our name engraved on it, which is just so sick. I mean, Cimo really did it up. I mean, this is just one of the coolest things I've ever been to, let alone coolest weddings I've ever been to. I mean, it was just fucking awesome. Just being around great people, whatever. It was just so nice. And we go up to the table where we get the rocks, and Nim's rock is not there. He just doesn't have one. And he's like, you know, he's just like bummed, because we've been clowning on him the whole weekend. Honestly, unjustly so, if I'm going to be real. We've been clowning on him, but his rock's not there. And so, you know, we go sit down, and we're just like, we're talking about it. And Ruxin's like, nah, there's no way your rock's not there. Like, it must have fallen off the table. And I'm thinking about it too, and I'm like, yeah, like Alex wouldn't have messed something like that up. Like, if he was in any way, shape, or form in charge of this, Alex or his wife Brittany, neither of them would have messed this up. Like, this is just not a mistake, not something they would overlook. Like, this, if this was a mistake, it's just not real. It's just not real. So I'm like, my Yu-Gi-Oh brain's ticking. I'm like, how can I come up on this? How can I come up on this? And Ruxin's like, I'm gonna go check. Maybe it fell into the table or something. And as this is all unfolding, I see Ruxin walking over with such purpose. And Ruxin maybe just convinced me, where it's just like, yeah, there's no way you don't have a rock. Everyone else here has a rock and you don't have a rock. And I'm like, all right, Nim Nim, give me odds. Give me odds. What do you think are the chances he finds it? And Gage tanks and he's like, 2-1. And I was like, bet on it. Bet on it. My Yu-Gi-Oh player brain, I'm just like, yo, I gotta come up on this somehow. And Ruxin comes back and he's like, yo, Gage, they didn't have your rock. And then he reaches in his pocket and he's like, until I checked under the table, and slaps the rock on the table. And it was like so fucking hype. And I was just like, yo. And Nim Nim immediately pays up. And I'm just like, hey, let's fucking go. So many W's all weekend. So many W's at the expense of literally everyone else around. So sorry. If you guys are ever in Vegas, drinks are on me. You can crash at my place, whatever the fuck you need. I mean, I got you guys. I'll see you in Pasadena. I'm sure you'll get me back there. But overall, great weekend. I just want to leave you guys with a little bit of a cute picture. You can see a better version of this picture on MBT's Twitter. But this is most of us. RJ and his girlfriend didn't make it into the picture, but it was a really sweet time, and I'm really thankful to be a part of this sphere because these guys are great. Yu-Gi-Oh's great, and I'm looking forward to the future of all this. See you guys in the next vid. Peace. Peace. Oh my god, I can't find the stop recording button. I'm not editing this out. I one take this. I hope it's gonna be good enough.